Let's talk about pregnancy surrogates, birth surrogates. So let's say you and your spouse want to have a child, but for whatever reason you can't. You can fertilize an egg, create an embryo, and have that implanted into somebody else who would then carry the pregnancy to term and give birth. So you're having a baby, but somebody else is doing the pregnancy part of that. Now, okay, let me back up here. I make my money off of talking about some of the craziest things that happen and craziest things that are said in this world. And this one is kind of right up there in the team photo of some of the craziest stuff. The gentleman I'm about ready to show you is going to explain to you that he believes pregnancy surrogacy should be outlawed because that's human trafficking.
One of the most disgusting and vile things that is somehow still allowed in our country is the act of having children via surrogacy. I've seen these videos, and I'm sure you guys have too, of these poor babies being ripped from their mother's arms and handed off to oftentimes some gay couple, which is a whole separate issue. If you can't have a children, you should not be able to purchase and raise one. And I'm not just talking about couples that are infertile. I'm talking about, gay couples.
Purchase?
And on top of that, this is human trafficking. Anyone that tells you that human trafficking has been outlawed in the West is lying, because this is literally, you are exchanging a currency for a human infant. That is the definition of human trafficking. It's disgusting, it's vile, and it should be outlawed immediately.
So right off the bat, you're dealing with flawed logic because you don't know what human trafficking is. Human trafficking is a crime involving the exploitation of a person for labor, services, or commercial sex through the use of force, fraud, or coercion. That's not what this is. And yes, gay people do use surrogacy to build a family. Absolutely. Approximately 30 to 40% of all commissioned surrogacies go to gay men. It happens. How do you feel about adoption? Somebody else has a baby. They don't want that baby. Somebody else down the road pays somebody for the ability to adopt that child. Do you think that that's human trafficking? And if not, why? You're not purchasing a child first and foremost. That's not what that is. That's a distorted view of the entire process. But I want to know sincerely if you think that adoption falls under human trafficking, because it's the exact same thing. Sometimes a woman gets pregnant, doesn't want to have the baby, gives it up for adoption, and somewhere down the line it's adopted. Sometimes a woman has a baby and works directly with a family that is looking to adopt, and that family takes care of medical expenses and travel expenses and whatnot and what have you in order to adopt that baby down the road. Is that human trafficking as well? You do also understand that surrogacy helps heterosexual couples that want to have children but cannot, the ability to have them, right? Do you understand that? Do you have kids? Do you even have a relationship? Have you ever looked into the eyes of the person you love to have a discussion about the difficulties behind having a child? Have you ever looked at a person you loved who was just told by a doctor that you can't have kids and had that conversation? Has that ever happened in your life? Do you know anybody that it has happened to? Now, my guess is not. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that even if you did know somebody like that, you probably wouldn't give a shit, would you?